If you're moving or looking to buy a home or sell a home in the Tuscaloosa, Alabama, roll tide. Have I got a great guest for y'all today?
Hey, I'm Nate Carver, and welcome to Between Two Doors.
Everybody, I'd like to introduce you to Haynes Waldo.
Nate, thanks for so much for having me. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Welcome to the Between Two Doors podcast, and we're gonna see what we can do to introduce you to the world. So, and not that you really need that, but you're doing some great stuff there in your area, in the markets that you serve. Um, so let's jump right into it. Tell me where you grew up, and I guess how you came into the real estate space.
Yeah, so kind of funny that I'm in Tuscaloosa now. Grew up right outside of Athens, Georgia, Monroe, where we also are licensed, and my team does sell some real estate, but home now is Tuscaloosa. And funny enough, kind of grew up around the mortgage industry, but realized I like working with people and really investors. So, I kind of come from that numbers background. My brain is number driven, and I invest in real estate personally. So, kind of a niche market working with people, but investors specifically here in the area. So, that's kind of how I made the conversion of, hey, what do I want to do? I think maybe real estate more than the mortgage side, just because I'm people focused and spending time walking people through homes and welcoming them to Tuscaloosa.
Nice. And how long ago was that? When did you get started in the real estate on the real estate agency side?
So I got started in 2020. I got my license when COVID hit. So I was a sophomore at the University of Alabama at the time and
Yeah.
needed to get going in some kind of job, and nowhere was hiring. I said, well, I got to do this myself. And that's happened to be when the real estate market exploded. So it was a blessing in disguise.
Nice. So University of Alabama is what brought you to Tuscaloosa. Now, were you a Crimson fan prior to that, or did you come to it? Did you get baptized into it?
Yeah, probably baptized. I'm definitely a Crimson Tide fan now. I grew up, just 15 minutes down the road from Athens, and my best friend growing up was a huge Bama fan. And I said, man, I really want to change the scenery. I want to go to Alabama. Luckily, it worked out. And once you get here, and I think 2 weeks on campus before the first home football game, it creeps up on you quick. And between spending 4 years at school, graduating, living and owning a business here, it was not as hard of a switch as some might imagine. So I bleed crimson red now.
Wow. Uh, looking back early on in you got some mentorship going right when you get started in real estate. Like the number one real estate team in Alabama. So what would you accredit that to?
Man, it was it kind of all goes back into COVID. I got my first job here in Tuscaloosa working in a men's clothing kind of retail store, helping them transition to online business, and met the owner of the number one real estate team in Alabama. And sometimes excluding Florida, they've won number one in the Southeast. So very, very
Hmm.
high powered team here. Um, and he said, hey, do you would you ever get in the real estate business? I said, funny enough, I need something a little more fast paced. I'd love an opportunity. And a 15-hour internship turned into a 60-hour week full time job. And it got to the point where I had my girlfriend at UGA. I was trying to be active in my fraternity, keep my grades up, and sell houses. And I said, if I'm working 60 hours a week, it's going to be for Haynes Waldo. So that's where I left the team, but still have an incredible relationship with those guys. We'll be forever indebted to what they taught me, the high level systems that they use and implement to serve their clients. And that's what really has kind of boosted me from the start to get my business going.
What's one thing that either an investor or someone looking to sell or buy a home that you would attribute or want them to know that you've learned from that mentorship?
Yeah, so I mean, one is just the insane level of communication and high level negotiation skills that we learn. Everything is extremely systematic, where you know we're going to see a problem or issue come up well before you do, and we're going to mitigate any risk. But also, I'm a real estate investor myself, so I
Mm,
understand the numbers. It's not anyone in sales wants to sell you something. My investor clients would speak on this. Like, I'll be the first person to tell you no because I'm not here to sell you one house. Like, I want to be your real estate guy for the long term and help you build a huge portfolio. One, because that builds a lot of wealth for you through real estate, but two, ends up being more than one transaction that I work with you on. So I would rather shoot you straight from the start and build a long lasting relationship.
nice. So what is your vision behind creating your brand?
So the brand itself, when I was getting to 60 hours a week, and my last name's Waldo. My business partner comes from property management, huge operation in Tuscaloosa, and his last name was Hendricks. We both got home after a long work day when all of our friends were on spring break in college, and we were just the only two students left in all of Tuscaloosa after working. And we said, tomorrow we're quitting our jobs and we're going to do this on our own. So his last name was Hendricks, mine's Waldo. That's how WalHen Properties came about. And we essentially started a one-stop shop overnight where we could do full service property management, sales, leasing, all and through one company.
Wow. Did you close your first transaction while you were still interning or still in school, or did you had already finished your formal education?
So closed my first one my sophomore year of college. And was still an intern at the time, but they also would let me, out of the I think at that point it was kind of right when I first started. I was just doing about 20 hours for them a week. After working
Yeah.
on the weekends, I could go sell just because, I was a licensed assistant. So had a few clients who were, nice enough to give me a shot as a young 19-year-old, and luckily it panned out and I still work with those folks today.
It's amazing. I can think of several real estate agents that have started early in life and it's paid off for them well. Good for you. Good for you. Let's see. So personal experiences and stuff. So you said that you wanted to bring back that personal experience to buyers and sellers. Are there anything that you do that you find meaningful that helps with them?
Yes. One thing, especially with the way technology's going, we do not automate anything we do. And yes, this creates more work and more time for us, but like we don't have a templated email that's triggered to go out at certain times. Like when you work with us, it is a very personal experience, kind of we're using all the top end technologies to assist you with your search and pull data and sign paperwork, anything like that we're implementing, but it is manually triggered, so it's a very hands-on. When you call our phone number, you get me on the phone. Like you're not gonna go get an assistant. You're not gonna get another team member automated service. So that side of things, for sure, is we definitely pride ourselves on communication and that personal experience throughout the transaction.
Great. Great. So let's shift gears a little bit and let's talk about the communities that you serve. Tuscaloosa, West Alabama. If they've never been to Tuscaloosa, what are you going to tell them? Why do you need to move to Tuscaloosa? Or maybe you know why people are already moving to Tuscaloosa.
So, I mean, the obvious reason is when you move to Tuscaloosa, you become a champion overnight. This
But
is this is title town after all.
that's right.
And so every aspect of your life will be better. But no, really, just not being from here and have spent, 7 years here now, and love this town is I want to change the stereotype and stigma that Alabama has. Normally, Mississippi gets roped into that, as you know, it's just the old school South, a bunch of dumb rednecks, and people come here and are shocked with what Tuscaloosa has to offer. Mercedes-Benz has just, in the last decade relocated their United States headquarters here. Nucor
Yeah.
Steel, headquartered here. We have a lot of big industry, obviously the university. Um, we're 50 minutes down I-20 from Birmingham, so we have a lot of folks who like the small town feel, commute into Birmingham, which is a great city that's changed a ton in the last 2 decades, by the way. Like awesome food town, awesome entertainment, like really, really
Yeah.
good place. Um, and we've got one of the most beautiful lakes I've been to in the southeast. We've got the Black Warrior River that you can take a boat down to the Mobile Bay from if you really wanted to get adventurous. We're 2.5 hours from the mountains, from the start of the Appalachian Trail. We're 3.5 hours from Gulf Shores. So it's a perfectly located city that you can either be all in on the college town itself and play off of that, or have a nice kind of slow, relaxed life in the outskirts and feel like it's country living, but be just minutes away from a good sized town.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not far. You've got a lot of options for anybody that's got an extended weekend or a 3-day weekend. You can go mountains, you can go football, you can do beach.
Oh, you can do it all. One other neat little weekend trip that I've been doing personally here that no one thinks about is going on the Blues Trail in the Mississippi Delta, like kind of start in Memphis and work your way down. Tons of
Oh,
history, good music, good food, just small little quaint towns, really neat. And it's also most of the ends on that route are dog friendly. And so like when my fiance and I travel, we like to travel with our dogs. And
nice.
that's a neat little weekend trip too.
Now you've done the Blues Trail?
Not all, but yeah, quite a bit. Through Memphis, down into the
You,
Delta, Greenville, Cleveland, that area. Um,
you got a current favorite, your favorite blues spot so far?
um, The one spot I would say that is like a can't miss is called, it's a funny name, so bear with me here. It's called the Shacking Up Inn. And they have taken a ton of old historic homes from all over, either come from plantations or just homes throughout the South, and they've placed them around the property. And the main property, which would essentially be your think of as your lobby, your meeting place for a hotel, is a little blues club and bar. So you can stay on site, have your own cabin, but also walk in and hear incredible live music, um, and grab a good drink after a day of exploring the Mississippi.
Wow. Wow. So current market trends, are you seeing, you're seeing a pretty decent influx in investment into the area, specifically Tuscaloosa. I have, I know some few things right around town, so to speak. I won't divulge where just there's some pretty neat things happening and you're a part of that. That's fantastic. That blues, man. That's do you have a favorite blues band or or
Man, I love
individual?
music. I wouldn't say this blues directly, but some of the spinoff, especially when they were just getting started, like some of the Rolling Stones back in the day when they kind of went through Mississippi and even Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and recorded it. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the studio, but some of the inspiration they got, Percy
Yeah,
Sledge, Mr. Muddy Waters. I mean, some of the greats. But anybody that's got some soul and rhythm to them, I'm gonna listen to. I like it all.
nice. Yeah. And out there the influence, you can't ignore it. So that's wonderful. Let's talk a little bit about your success. You're young and you're doing in your real estate business what the vast majority of realtors or aspiring realtors dream of doing, but they don't action. Um, and I just want to celebrate that. The past, I mean, you over 60 million in closings before age 25. And so you've been doing some really incredible things. Anything that you would point that to as being the singular piece to your success?
Well, one, I look forward to getting started with working with you here, in the upcoming months on a few things. But, really, singular thing, Nate, I don't know. I mean, I was raised, my father taught me a ton about, hard work, doing the right thing,
Yeah,
don't, kind of one saying that I've always kept in mind is when it becomes more about the commission than the client, then you've lost the deal.
yeah,
And that has always resonated with me because I'm not from here. I started from scratch. I wasn't in the good old boy network. Nobody knew who Haynes Waldo was. There's 43,000 students at that university. I was just another one, another number. And so, pounding the pavement, I probably worked crazy hours, or I not didn't probably I did. But again, it kind of goes back to just treating people well and fostering these long-lasting relationships. I can't say that I have a massive number of clients, but I can say that we over half of our clients are repeat customers. One, because they're
hmm,
investors, but two, because we try to frame ourselves as a real estate advisor versus
yeah,
just sticking a sign in your yard. Um, and again, the people I learned from, I mean, the guy I learned from, he closes 150 to 180 homes a year. And when you are in that room, essentially closing one home per workday out of the year, it fires you up and like it teaches you the systems and ways to build a clientele, service the clientele, and close deals. So a mix of mom and dad, shout out John Randall, great guy I got to learn from. And then I have been blessed with just some awesome clients who, continue to invest in real estate, continue to see wins and the value of investing in our Tuscaloosa market.
nice. Um, Tell us a little bit of, well, we talked about football a little bit. So there is a team there. So, so when you're gonna come to Tuscaloosa, you're gonna become a fan of football for sure. What other thing? Well, let's see. I'm curious is if you know of something maybe that's public knowledge that someone outside of Tuscaloosa might not know of, that's coming in, that's gonna have a positive influence. Um, to I guess in the community. I know we talked a little bit about the plant manufacturing jobs that are there now, but I don't know, something maybe on the economic scale or side of things, or just on the recreational side, locally.
Yeah, we have a few new exciting, big projects slash attractions coming to the Tuscaloosa Northport area. One is the Saban Center. Again, it all goes back to football, but Nick Saban has a huge, it's essentially a conference center, but it has the Children's Hands-On Museum in it. It is where Alabama teachers are going to meet to improve our public school systems. Tons of aspects with local artists and um, nonprofits where they have places to go in and work. So that's going to be a really neat kind of hub for
Mhm.
growth. That's not football related, other than the name here. And then we have another incredible project that people from really all over the country will be experiencing, and that's going to be River Run Park in downtown Northport. Um,
Yeah,
Probably the premier youth sports complex in the Southeast. I mean, I know there's some incredible ones, but I, I've played baseball at some of the big name ones, and I've never seen anything like this. That's right here in downtown Northport, just about 3 miles from campus. And it's going to be a huge economic boom week in and week out for the city of Northport, which will spill over into Tuscaloosa. So those are kind of the two things at the moment. Um, we've got a couple few exciting restaurants coming. I'm just thinking big scale that you may hear of as somebody else, not from Alabama.
right. Tell me outside of real estate, what do you love doing? When you unplug, if you do unplug, it's I'm the same way in lending, and I'm like, it's always with me everywhere. But I do have a few things that I like to do. What about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I love anything outside. So I love to fly fish. There's not a whole lot of that in Alabama, but try to sneak up to the mountains again because I can make a short weekend trip up there. Um, Playing golf, and I'm a foodie, man. So anything I do is going to revolve around a good meal and a cold beer stop. Um, and a lot of that is little weekend trips with my fiance and our two pups. So that is how we spend our free time. Of course, if my phone's in my pocket, then I'm somewhat on. But and then week in and week out when I'm not doing real estate, I'm involved and have really enjoyed this as I'm fairly new with this group, but have learned a lot quick, catching on quick, and it's just incredible what this group does for our local citizens of West Alabama. But it's called Caring Days. So it's the only adult daycare center in the state of Alabama, and specializes in working with adults, specifically elderly ones with memory disorders.
Mhm.
Um, and man, unless you've been there, even if you've had a relative with it, it's really hard to put yourself in the shoes of what somebody with that is going through. And I've been fortunate enough to do some training that's, as much as they can, try to put you in someone's shoes that may be suffering from an Alzheimer's, or something of that nature. But it's hard to comprehend what that looks like, and to be able to provide for our local families in West Alabama, an affordable space where their family member enjoys coming, being around other folks of their age, and just keeping them entertained. It's been huge, and I've seen the burden lifted off families in our area through that. So to play a little part in that service here in our community means the world to me. It's an honor to do it. And so that's kind of been something that I've been filling some of my non-working time with, and have really thoroughly enjoyed that.
Wow, I didn't. It never crossed my mind. I had thought about it, but that's wonderful. And so there's one organization that's helping care for um, elderly with Alzheimer's. That's amazing.
It's something you
Good for
don't
you.
really think about. It kind of slips through the cracks, but when I heard on my kind of training day that we were the only one in the state of Alabama, I'm like, holy smokes, like this is a huge, huge issue. And so in many states, there aren't many states that have them. So we're fortunate to have that right here in Tuscaloosa. We have clients all over the state coming, um, and currently getting ready for our spring and summer fundraisers. Got a big motorcycle ride and pickleball tournament and walk to remember. It's a Caring Days, or a United Way organization.
Okay.
Some people are more familiar with that group.
When's that? Is that on the calendar? When that's going to happen?
The ride is May 30th,
Okay.
and the pickleball tournament is going to be in October. We haven't nailed down a date on that just yet. But that's kind of the committee I'm on, is the fundraising, and I'm a social guy, so they know I can go pull
Yeah.
some teams together, and hopefully put on a big event.
Were you the social chair in your fraternity?
I think they found that out before I even showed up, because they threw the outreach into my lap, which is great, because that's what I enjoy. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I will say that you're never going to make 200 18 to 22-year-old males happy. You can never do it
No.
right. But
No.
to do that at the Greek, at the scale of the Greek system that UA's has,
Yeah.
when you give a 20-year-old a couple hundreds of thousands of dollars to go book parties with, it was a good position to be in.
Yeah. Good for you. Well, I'll put links wherever people are watching or listening to this. I'm going to put links to the fundraising events, and
Yeah, that
I'll
we
get
would sure appreciate that. I'll get that over to you.
nice. We're about out of time. Promised people about 30 minutes, and we got there. Um, Tell me how, if someone's looking to do investments or buy a home for themselves, how can they best get a hold of you?
Man, phone number 205-657-3336. I will share my card with you. I pick up, you call me, I pick up. And if I don't, it's because I'm on the other line. I'll call you back within 5 minutes. But our social media, WalHen Properties Real Estate Group, um, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all the things, we're on it. And my name, you can call me anything you want, but Haynes like the underwear or Where's Waldo. Pretty easy to remember. So, punch it in Google. We should pop up and would love to take care of anybody moving to the great state of Alabama.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Haynes, for meeting with me today and for this conversation. Folks, if you're looking in the Tuscaloosa area, reach out to Haynes. Good guy, humble guy. You can tell just listening to him, and he's involved in his community, doing really great things in an awesome area that's got some really great football and some really cool other things in the works. So, until next time on Between Two Doors, we'll see you then.
Thank you, Nate.